Hey everybody, my name is Miranda, and this week officially begins the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. summer hiatus. The 2-hour season 2 finale aired last Tuesday. There's just so many crazy twisty turns that I did not see coming at all, and it was just really easily one of the craziest TV finales I have ever seen in my life. And you're looking at someone who watched 4 seasons of The Vampire Diaries. Well, maybe 3. And of course there's going to be some major spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet, so if you want to go watch the episode and then come back and watch this, just give this video a thumbs up and then come back to it later to enjoy it all after you've seen what happens so nothing is ruined for you, because oh my gosh, it's just so much. So bye for now, non-spoilers. I honestly don't even know where to begin with this finale. There was just so much happening and so many twisty turns, and I loved pretty much all of it except for one part, which you can probably guess. First of all, this was one jam-packed 2-hour episode. It wasn't like the Agent Carter premiere where it was just 2 episodes put together. This was one gigantic, enormous, major, massive episode, and you could definitely feel it, because I was worried that it would start to drag at certain points, but it definitely did not. It felt like there was so much happening that you needed to know what happened. You couldn't wait for it, so I really think it was a good idea making it a big 2-hour finale. It made it seem kind of like an event, and it was a very big event because we started off right after episode 20. I really liked Jiaying in the last episode. I thought that she was very understandable and very strong in how she reacted to trying to protect her people. But after this finale, oh my gosh, she is a nutcase. I loved how Coulson figured it out, the comparison between Jiaying and Cal, how Jiaying is really the monster. She's the one that made Cal do all these things that made him crazy, that made him unstable. He's a good man. Skye gets her compassion and her love and her understanding from him, not Jiaying, which is very interesting, I feel like, because it parallels what we saw before when Jiaying was willing to just let Lincoln stay in Hydra and die, and she was willing to just let Cal loose and kill all these people, and she was willing to let May shoot that girl in Bahrain. Jiaying just doesn't care for these people. She doesn't care about anyone who's in her way, kind of inhuman or not. Nothing really matters to her. Even her daughter we saw at the end, which was so tragic, because I mean, this is Skye's entire life, and she finally thinks she's found a parent who is normal and who understands her, and then her mom just turns out to be the complete psychopath, and Cal's the normal one. That is something I never ever saw coming. Cal is the normal one, people. That was just insane. And the more we learned about Jiaying, the more we were made to realize that she was completely bonkers. Basically, from what I understood, was she was a good person, but then after Hydra took her and cut her out, she was kind of made more monstrous and more unforgiving of people. Cal basically said, metaphorically and literally, that she had a good heart, but Hydra cut it out. I think that's what happened, because you find out that that whole village that they destroyed looking for Skye, it wasn't them destroying it. She heals by taking the life essence of other people. So that entire village of people that she grew up with, that she knew, that was her sucking the life out of everyone that ever cared for her and everything. And it was just so heartbreaking, I feel like, to learn all this, but so amazing and such a great twist, because all this time we'd been led to believe Cal's the crazy one, she's the normal one that realized, oh, we're being monsters, when really she's the one that pushed him and forced him into all this stuff that made him so crazy and so unstable, and she's the one that will get rid of anyone in her way, even Skye, when it comes down to all of it. So that was a really great twist, I felt like, and just the more we saw of Jiaying in this episode, the more you saw how monstrous she really is. After the Inhumans took control of the helicarrier, they quickly got a hold of everyone on there and were basically about to kill them by putting the crystals in the fans, but there was one person they hadn't realized they missed, and that was Mac. Now, Mac, I really haven't liked his storyline thus far. I feel like they kind of underplayed him and almost made him like the villain, because he was always against Skye, against Coulson, these people that we had come to love for a whole season, so obviously we're not going to like him. But then he totally turned it around this episode. He came to Skye, he rescued her out of her little jail cell that her stupid mom had thrown her in after throwing a crowbar at her head, and her wrists were locked so she couldn't use her powers. They put something on her. But he said that, that's not what I need, Tremors, which is adorable when he called her Tremors. He said basically that he wanted her to hack into the system and send out an SOS alert. So she did that, and you could just see her face light up when she realized that, oh yeah, I have other powers besides these earthquake ones. This is what really got me into my love of everything was hacking. So I really love that. And I mean, just in general, Mac was freaking amazing in this episode. He had one of the best lines to me when he met Gordon and was protecting the crystals. And he's like, oh yeah, you're Gordon, right? And Gordon's like, yeah, who? And he's like, I'm the guy who kills Gordon. I was like, oh, Mac, this is the best episode. And then, of course, he saved Coulson's life by chopping off his hand at the end, which was such a devastating moment. But, I mean, it had to happen. Someone pointed out online, though, that Coulson should have been able to hold the crystal because he technically has Kree blood in him from the Tahiti Project, but I don't know if maybe his own blood cells had taken over now and replicated and gotten rid of the Kree blood, if he just needed that blood for healing purposes and now it's all out of his system, or if that was just a writer's flaw. But either way, I'm so devastated. Now it's very, very sad because at the end when Skye was driving Lola, I was like, oh, that's so cool, she gets to drive Lola, and then I realized that's because Coulson can't with one hand, and I left Skye to go off after Jiaying and try and stop her from releasing these crystals everywhere to kill and exterminate all the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, and that was when we saw just how far deep Jiaying had gone, because she was like, you can't do this, I'm going to stop anyone who gets in my way, and you're like, yeah, but it's her daughter, she's trying to make a better world for her, like, you can always pass it off, and then she grabs Skye and starts trying to suck the life force out of her, and that's when you're like, oh crap, this lady is really crazy. Skye managed to somehow get away from her by using her powers, and she just pushed the whole ship off, and then all the crystals sunk to the bottom of the ocean, which we think is a good thing, but then we find out that the fish ate them, the fish got captured, the fish were used for fish oil, and now it's marketed, and I am never ever eating fish oil again. Not that I ate it before, because it smells like fish. Afterwards, her mom is just like, what have you done? And like grabs her again and tries to suck the life force out of her again. And I was like, leave it alone. And she's basically dying, like her pupils are turning white and she's about to kill her mom when Cal comes out and is like, no, I won't let you have that burden. And then I think he ripped her spine out. I don't want to know exactly what it was, but it sounded very violent, and based on her face, it looked very painful. After all was said and done, Coulson had decided to send him to the Tahiti program to erase his memories, which I think was a really, really sweet moment because you saw him be the good guy for once. We realized that he is the good guy. It's just Jiaying who kind of led him on this path. We saw Skye come up to him and he asked what her name was because he didn't remember her, and she said it was Daisy. And I was almost nervous that was going to trigger him, like, remember, oh yeah, I had a daughter named Daisy, but he was just like, oh, that's a really sweet name. And she smiled and was like, yeah, you seem like a really nice guy. And they kind of had a cute little moment where he didn't really know what was going on, but she was so happy to see him so happy. And then she walked off and Coulson handed her the new plans he had, which I have looked online, and if you see on the tab, it says Caterpillar on the folder tab, and Caterpillar is a project that Nick Fury put together that was led by Quake, which is Skye's alter ego in the comic book series. You can see Lincoln being on this team. They're probably going to bring in a couple more people with powers, add some people. Let's move on to the things that, oh, I didn't like. First of all, it just starts with Ward. Ward and Kara. What the F happened to them? I had Bobby locked up, and Bobby was a effing force. I have never loved Bobby more than I have now, because not only was she subjected to all this torture, but she never really broke down. Then Ward just kept going and going at her, and then finally said what we all know. She said that Grant Ward is a coward. There's always going to be someone else to blame for him, or someone he can say caused him to do something. Grant Ward never takes responsibility for his actions. The real Grant Ward, there's always a facade that he has on, but deep down, he's always going to blame his parents. He's always going to blame Garrett, and I really, really like that because I think it's true. Bobby, we've seen, is really, really good at reading people, and we saw just how much what she said affected Ward and how angry he was getting at her, and that's the moment when, even with those needles, oh, in her fingers, she just stood up and like attacked him, and she held her own for so long against two people, and I just loved her so much. Gosh, if there's anyone who can handle Ward, it is Bobby. And I loved May too, what she did where she saw Kara and she said into the walkie that like, oh, everyone go to the southwest corner and don't put your guard down until you see my face, because then Kara's like, ha, I'm gonna put your face on, and then that guard that was with May was like, no one's in the southwest corner, what are you talking about? And she's like, yeah, I know. And then you see Ward come out and shoot May, which again, he thought he was shooting May people. This is not someone you can redeem in my eyes. Like, I don't know what they did to his character, but it's not anything you can redeem. And then it turned out to be Kara. I knew immediately, because I was like, there's no way they're gonna kill May. And then he started like really crying, and I was like, I don't get his feelings for Kara. It just seemed to go from 0 to 60 so fast. There was no build up, that every time he said baby to her, I wanted to like throw up. So now Ward, I don't even know what he wants to do. He's going to try and become the head of Hydra. People are saying, oh, now he's going to try and take them from the inside or something like that. It's just, I'm so done with Ward's character. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. I don't even blame Ward. I blame the writers, who could have gave him an awesome redemption storyline, who could have made him Hellfire by having the mist kind of go on him. And I feel like the writers always said we know what Ward's motive is by the end, but I still don't know. Like, is it closure? Because that's nothing new to me. He's always been about this creepy kind of closure that killing people somehow brings you closure. And then finally we have good old Fitzsimmons. Fitz was a force to be reckoned with in this episode. I was so proud of him. He had the best line, which was when they trapped Gordon inside so he couldn't teleport anymore. He's like, how did you do this? And Fitz is just like, science, biatch. I was like, oh yes, Fitz. I have loved Fitz's character so much this season. I don't even know quite how it happened, if Fitz had accidentally broke the thing when he hit it, or if she went to open it a little, but somehow all the Kree stuff came flying out, which was really weird because I thought that's only supposed to happen when an Inhuman is near. And is Gemma Inhuman then? She's definitely stuck in the stone. That's how it ended. It's craziness. I can't wait to see what happens for season 3. I'm really, really excited. Season 2 has had its ups and downs. I feel like I liked it a little less than season 1 just because season 1 was so much more lighter, and everything's basically changed now. I'm really, really excited to see what's going to happen. If you've seen the finale, please feel free to leave your thoughts, your reactions, your predictions down below. So thank you guys all so much for watching. Thumbs up if you like this video, and if you'd like to see more, click the subscribe button down below somewhere over there. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!